They chose their king, their power was met, but we don't answer to Ottawa yet. No crown gave us what we've earned, just dirt and fire and lessons learned. Now the ground it shakes, the steel it groans, and Alberta walks alone. We ride sovereign steel through fire, through frost. We ain't the last, we're the line they lost. Alberta stands, never on its knees. A nation born in the forge of the free. From the rigs to the rails, the crops to the code, we lit their streets, we bore their load. They laughed at pride, they mocked the West, but freedom don't die, it just waits for the test. The cowboys ride, the farmers rise, 5 million strong under open skies. No leash, no lie, no foreign throne. This land is steel and it stands alone. We ride sovereign steel through fire, through frost. We ain't the last, we're the line they lost. Alberta stands, never on its knees. A nation born in the forge of the free. Can't kill the mountain, can't drown the plain, can't burn the spirit that won't be chained. He stares down east with a calloused hand and says, this time we draw the line in the land. We ride sovereign steel through fire, through frost. We ain't the last, we're the line.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Welcome, welcome. It's Brucial and it's 7-Eleven Daily Summary. I am so excited to be here. You don't realize how much I've missed being here and being with you on a regular basis. Thank you so much. If you're watching, if you're tuning in, I appreciate you. Make sure to share this out and get more eyeballs on this information. I have got two fantastic guests. I'm really excited to have them here. As usual, we are unscrewing the news. We are bringing you healthy, good information to make your life better each and every day. So tune in, make sure to share this out, send it out to your social media. You know, we are in this time. It's such an extraordinary time. I am usually I'm vibrating because I'm just so excited about what's happening in the world. It's an amazing time to be alive, and I'm really, really grateful to the Lord to have you and to have this opportunity to explore what's going on. So we're going to get into it here right away, but I am grateful that you are here. And we're going to get into some awesome information here very shortly. I always like to start off by saying thank you. I love to shop local, and you know what? I'm not your investment advisor, but I do suggest getting gold and silver to protect your family's wealth. And I do suggest nuggetstacker.com. Nugget Stacker is a company right here in Calgary. You can pick up gold and silver. I think it's anything over $599. They'll ship it right to your door anywhere in Canada. Doesn't have to be just in Alberta. Doesn't have to be in Calgary. Gold and silver through nuggetstacker.com. You can click on the QR code right up at the top left-hand side there, and that will take you to their website. Get you a little bit of a discount as well. You can also go through my website at unscrewthenews.com. All right, we're going to get into unscrewing some news here right away. I'm coming to you from the heart of the battle-ready nation of Alberta. We bring you truth and optimism. Our goal is to break free from the media and the globalist mind control. It is the last day of March in 2026. It's March 31st, 2026. This is episode number 273, and I'm very honored to have Shawn and Teresa Buckley. And I call this on Health Canada. It's such a wide-ranging topic that we're going to talk about tonight. They are the duo that took the health charter across Canada last fall, and you probably, if you tuned in, you probably saw some of the episodes that I was also broadcasting with them in their VW van, charging across Canada. Was so exciting to get a chance to talk to them. And they had some great interviews along the way. It was, I want to ask them about it when I bring them on, but it must have been an amazing adventure, I think, that they traveled all across Canada. Anyway, we're going to get into it. Shawn Buckley, Teresa Buckley, so great to have both of you here. I am honored to have both of you. Thank you so much for joining me. It's a pleasure to have you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, we can. And just okay. It's a pleasure to be on your show, Bruce.
Thanks, Bruce.
All right, you guys, if you don't mind, do you mind just giving the audience a little taste of what you've been up to? Obviously, the National Health Product Protection Agency is a big part of what you guys do. Do you want to just, I don't know if you can sum it up in a minute or so, but just give everybody a little bit of a taste of what you've been up to.
Go ahead. Oh, okay. Go. So yeah, because Teresa could do it also. So the NHPPA, and I've got nhppa.org there. I definitely invite people to subscribe to our newsletter. We're the only group out there that's trying to protect our access to natural health. And, you know, the crazy thing is that when we're talking about natural health products, most of what we're talking about are essential nutrients, you know, like vitamin C and thiamine, things you actually will die without. But before you die, you're going to suffer and have a whole bunch of different chronic illnesses first. And they're considered drugs by Health Canada, which means that they're deemed. We're talking our essential nutrients, not just our natural remedies, but our essential nutrients are illegal. The starting point there is that they're illegal. It's illegal to sell you what you actually need to survive. And so you've got to jump through these hoops to try and prove they're safe and effective. And even if you can do that, which now drives the cost tremendously higher than the same things in the United States, even if you can do that, Health Canada will not allow you to sell in dosage amounts that Canadians actually need. So it's like they're trying to create us being chronically unhealthy. And Bruce, you know, our food supply is toxic and doesn't have what it needs. And so they're creating a need for the medical system. But so what have we been up to lately? So it's quite exciting is Health Canada snuck into the 2023 budget bill. So federal budget bills, they're like a phone book. You know, when they're spending hundreds of billions of dollars that calendar year, they've got to set out programs and change laws, and it's just supposed to be about the budget. But they snuck in there some changes to the Food and Drug Act, and they did it in 2024 too. But in 2023, they moved natural health products. So we're talking our vital nutrients and our natural remedies, as simple as ginger tea or, you know, as complicated as Strauss heart drops. They moved that into the most dangerous drug category there is, called therapeutic products, which are meant for companies like Pfizer that, you know, right, and meant for the most dangerous of things like thalidomide and Vioxx, which is really interesting. So we've already had a whole bunch of censorship. We've had companies decide not to launch products. Some have left the country. And we went from a $5,000 a day fine to a $5 million a day fine. And Health Canada has literally like godlike powers. They can order you to do anything. And Health Canada will say, well, we want increased powers to protect Canadians. But the funny thing about—
Hang on one second, Shawn. Can I interrupt you just for a second? I thought the $5 million fine, I thought that was in the works, and I thought that we were fighting to stop that. And you're saying that they've actually instituted that already?
It's there, and that's the
Oh my
censorship.
gosh.
The censorship has already begun, and that's
Yes.
why we felt compelled to do the World's Greatest Health Show, to take these interviews of people to share their stories in health with natural health products, because it's the practitioners and the naturopaths aren't allowed to share this.
Yeah, the people that know truth. So how it works, Bruce, is Health Canada takes the position that if they license a product, so, let's say it's a chemical drug, it might be licensed as an antidepressant or to treat depression. They take the position that, well, if your product's approved, then all you can share, unless they order you otherwise, all you can share is that it's an antidepressant or it treats depression. And similarly, you can't get an approval for a serious health condition if you're a natural health product. They've rigged the regulations so that unless you have a patent, you can't get approved.
Wow.
Which is why, but
and of course you can't have a patent. Yeah.
Your audience already knows this intuitively, because we all know that if we have to go to the hospital or a medical doctor for something serious, cancer, heart disease, depression, just to name, 3 that come to mind, we all know that we're going to be offered only 2 types of treatments. There's the very rare exception, but by and large, almost 100% of the time, we're offered either surgery and or chemical drugs that had a patent when they were approved. And this is by design. So we already know that the only options that we're given in the mainstream medical system is surgery and or chemicals. And it's interesting, in the health show, we had Professor Alan Castles as one of the speakers, and he was pointing out that the antidepressants, the chemical antidepressants by themselves, are the 3rd leading cause of death in Canada, aside from the fact that they don't work for treating depression.
Wow. Okay, I need to stop, and I need to change gears just for 1 second, because I forgot to say I am so grateful, and a Canadian should be so grateful for what you guys did. I haven't had a chance to talk to you since then, so thank you so much for doing the World's Greatest Health Show. You had some great speakers. I was glued to my seat, and that I was rebroadcasting as much as I could, but you guys did a great job, and hats off to you. I think it was so well done. And I'm going to play, after telling you that you did such a great job, I want to play this video from your website, the Natural Health, nhppa.org, if that's okay with you, because I think it really sums up what you guys are up to, and maybe what Canadians can look forward to. Hang on 1 second. Is that okay if I play this right now?
Well, yeah. I'm curious.
Okay.
For Health Canada. If you chose the former, then stick around, because the natural health industry in Canada has been and is continuing to disappear. If we're going to preserve the industry and our freedom to choose how we maintain our health and treat illness, you need to understand the facts and how you can get involved in the solution. First, you must be aware of the self-care framework. In 2017, Health Canada announced that they would slowly be replacing our current natural health product regulations with a new plan called the Self-Care Framework. This framework will regulate natural health products in the same manner as over-the-counter pharmaceutical drugs. So why is this a problem? Well, since the introduction of this plan, Health Canada has already made several critical moves to implement it, and all stakeholders are already feeling the consequences. One of these critical moves took place in June of 2023 when our annual budget bill called Bill C-47 was passed. In sections 500 to 504 of this bill, Health Canada changed the definition of therapeutic products, such that natural health products would now fall under this category, alongside over-the-counter pharmaceuticals. This means that natural health product companies will now be subject to many new fees, fines, and sweeping Health Canada powers that were originally created for pharmaceutical companies. For example, the fine for not complying with regulations has increased from $5,000 per offense to $5 million for every day that you're in offense. Fines this large are appropriate for pharmaceutical companies, but not for natural health companies, considering the difference in risk profiles and intended purposes.
I'm going to stop it right there because I think that it sort of already sums up and went over kind of what you talked about, but I think it made it really clear what I guess what the consequences are of this these changes.
Well,
Where do you want to go now? Do you want to talk about? Sorry, go ahead.
Well, you had asked about Bill 224. And so what Bill 224 does is, so you just watched this video where the budget bill moved us into the therapeutic product category. Bill 224 is a private member's bill that moves us back out. So it restores us back to a more reasonable regulatory environment. It's still awful, but it's much more reasonable. And then maybe Teresa can tell you what we've got a campaign going.
Yeah, for Bill, for C224, if you go to our website, nhppa.org, there's a full campaign page and activities that you can sign e-letters, print out already pre-formed letters, and you can make adjustments as you need to put them in the mail.
Is it the Citizen Action Kit?
Yeah, it's an action kit. If you go to the main page
go to the landing.
Pull it up right now.
Go to the landing page of nhppa.org. Just the main page. Actually, not there.
Yeah, the home page.
The home page. Just go right back to home. Yeah, there we go.
Does it sit here?
Yeah. So just scroll down. Oh, and if you sign up for our newsletter, that's very important. And so here you can see our two campaigns. So there's Bill C224, the green one right there. If you click on that one there, that one takes you to the page where this is it. So Bill C224 is now being approved to go to the Standing Committee on Health. So we thought we were going to have a bit of a battle with the Liberal government, but they actually agreed and supported it to go to committee. So now we're just speaking to the 10 committee members with the Standing Committee of Health. So that's what this campaign just concentrates on, dealing with those people and really educating them, because I think a lot of them just, I don't think they have any idea what's going on. Like I don't think they know. I think they're too busy and they're overworked.
So
and they don't have time.
Yeah. Of course. So does that mean that you and Teresa, Shawn and Teresa, are going to be standing in front of this committee trying to persuade them that Bill C224 has to be pushed through? Or is it something else that is going to happen? How does that look?
So this campaign, so first of all, the committee needs to understand that it's important for Canadians to have this passed. So please, it literally takes you 5 minutes to send this e-letter. The email's written, the e-letter's written. It just
right here.
Scroll down even more. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it shouldn't be too much work to print it out and mail it, because mailed letters, physical letters, are as good as 500 e-letters, because it's so easy for people to send e-letters.
Right.
And you don't even have to send. There's not even postage in a regular letter sent to your MP at the House of Commons, or sent to the Prime Minister, or sent to actually any MP in the House of Commons. But we also want people to write briefs. So, if you're a practitioner or if you're a store, write about your experience. If you're an ordinary Canadian and your life has been changed by natural health products, because one thing at the health show, and people can watch it at nhppa.org. I mean, there were stories where it's clear people were dying, that people, the mainstream medical system had completely failed them, and it was a death sentence, and they're only alive because of natural health products. And there were other stories where people were horribly disabled, and again, they became perfectly healthy with natural health products. Well, tell that story. If you have a story, tell it to the Standing Committee of Health so that they understand. Because what's happened is Health Canada's screams risk, risk, risk. They're like Chicken Little, the sky's falling, without taking into account any of the benefits. And again, most natural health products are just essential nutrients that we literally would die, and we cannot be healthy without adequate amounts. So what do you mean risk? The real risk is taking these away. The real risk is restricting them.
Yeah. Well, I want to change. There's so much to talk to you about. I'm sorry. Well, if we can fit it all into this one interview, but honestly, and I'm going to Alberta independence for a second, only because there is a shining light, though. If we can separate, if we have our own government, we can make these rules ourselves. So we can change anything, and health is definitely one of the areas that can really benefit. Do you see that as well? I mean, are you seeing the same thing I'm thinking?
If I can just comment too, I think if we were to just still speak about Canada.
Sure.
Just for a moment. So 70% of Canadians and 70% of Albertans use natural health products to some degree. If the government doesn't respond to this, because it's quite remarkable how negative people can be. And I mean, I just refuse to take any of the negative, anything, because
froze up there for a second.
Or can you see us?
Yep, I can see you.
Okay. It's amazing how negative people can be. They'll say, why bother? The government won't respond anyways. They're just going to ignore us like they always do. But what is interesting about this project is the amount of people, if they do see that the government isn't responding to what it is that they want, which is just reasonable access to natural health products, that's a big subsection of the population that may not be awake or aware to the other issues that perhaps we're more educated about that have happened over the past 5 years. So I wouldn't give up on either direction this goes with Parliament. I think it's a good opportunity, and that's why I do it. Shawn can talk about Alberta independence because I'm neutral on the subject.
Right, but
I agree. I agree with you. I appreciate both of you because you have worked so hard to wake up people to this. And honestly, after your tour, it's gone to the back of my mind, and I apologize, personally, because it is so critical to have this. I use it every day. I mean, I'm using health products, and I'm trying not to have any chemicals. And it's so important, I think, for our health on a regular basis, and in our families, we have to be very vigilant in this procedure. So I appreciate you. I'm so glad that I asked you to come on again, because it's a great reminder to be paying attention to this. Sorry, Shawn, you were going to say something.
Well, if we can't get Parliament to yield on this issue, then I think that will be a real demonstration that they won't yield on anything, because it's the one issue that the vast majority of Canadians take natural health products. Yeah. And so many of those are passionate about it because they or somebody around them, their lives really changed for the positive. And many understand, no, this really is the difference between life and death, or, health or suffering. So, that's why I invite everyone to subscribe to nhpp.org. We've got 2 campaigns going on. We're the only group out there fighting on this front, but we need more people sending e-letters. We need more people printing them out and sending them. We need more people phoning their MPs. If for no other reason than to learn whether or not Parliament can respond to us. Right? I mean, I'm kind of, I think it's absolute madness that we're here in the first place. Like, how can we possibly be fighting for vital nutrients? Really? How can we be regulating natural health products as drugs? The United States Congress held broad hearings because citizens were getting angry at their regulatory body treating them as drugs. So Congress held broad hearings, and they passed in 1994 what's called the Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act of 1994, where they class them as foods. And in the preamble, they're just going on how we need to promote them. They're vital nutrients. They're going to help us with our health outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's class them as food and deem them by law to be safe.
Mm-hmm.
And the FDA can't take one off the market, and unless they have actual evidence of harm, and there's no they're presumed to be wrong on every single element. It's like written down into their law. So to protect them, United States Congress, they took the position after holding broad hearings, we need to protect and promote our citizens' access to vital nutrients. Mm-hmm. But Health Canada took the opposite approach. We had a citizen rebellion because people were getting tired of losing access. And Health Canada put us into a drug model. Well, how come we have to prove that thiamine, which is an essential nutrient which we'll die without, how come we have to prove that that's safe and effective? And then it drives the prices up. And it's all this rent seeking. Like, I've been involved in this for 30 years, and I'm firmly of the belief that Health Canada actually is the leading cause of death in Canada. And that they what they really want is they want to get rid of almost everyone but a few small players. So there'll be multivitamins and vitamin C in amounts that are completely meaningless. Mm-hmm. But, the real good stuff will be gone. Truthful health information will be completely gone. And the multi-ingredient products that, save lives and turn lives around, they will be gone. And our only alternative, our only option will be surgery and novel chemicals that have a patent.
In a medical system that's actively collapsing, because even people who want to go that route aren't able to get it. What we noticed over the past in the fall was, my heart was broken. Just so many Canadians are sick. Like many people made decisions 5 years ago, and they're feeling it now.
Can I just use Karen Peters as an
please.
example?
Yeah. She's a good one.
And this is, when we're talking about this health show that's at nhppa.org that you can watch. And we're not done with the health show. We're gonna do it again. Mm-hmm. But well, we're actually, we had segued a little while ago to farm issues because we keep getting asked to do speaking engagements. Teresa and I, we were just, we were at the Alberta Elk Farmers convention, last week speaking. We're going to Niagara to speak to Ontario Landowners Association. I interviewed today a dairy farmer, which maybe I'll speak about later, because it's shocking what's happening to our food supply. Our food supply is already toxic. The Canadian food supply is already the most toxic food supply in the world. Mm-hmm. Nowhere other country in the world has such a dangerous and toxic food supply as Canada's. And our food supply is the least nutrients. You cannot be healthy by just eating normally. You must supplement, like full stop. And it's accelerating. Yes. I mean, pre-interview, you talked about this genetically modified milk, and they've approved genetically modified pigs, and they're making the milk supply just totally toxic and poisonous. We can talk about that. All for your safety, by the way. And taking control of provincial jurisdictions. So if you want to talk about, one of the problems with Canada, and it started with Pierre Trudeau, so Trudeau Sr. in the 70s, is, we have a constitution that gives provinces control over most things. But Pierre Trudeau figured out how to get around that. And that was, let's take gobs of money, because provinces can only tax directly, but the federal government can tax directly and indirectly and has the whole country to pull from. So Trudeau started this trick. Well, let's tax the heck out of the country. And then we've got these big bags of cash. And let's just use healthcare as an example. Then we'll say to the provinces, well, we'll give you these big bags of cash, but you have to follow the Canada Health Act. And the provinces agreed. They should have never agreed on any of this.
When did they agree?
Right.
In like 70s or 80s?
Yeah, most of this happened in the 70s. So now the provinces are addicted to cash. So much cash comes from the federal government. We're locked into this pharmaceutical and surgery healthcare because that's all Canada Health Act pays for.
Right.
So Health Canada only approves the chemical drugs, and then the federal government only pays for it. But let's talk about farmers right now, because now they're moving to get rid of the family farm. So they come out with these Safe Food for Canadians Act. Now, the federal government doesn't have jurisdiction over property and civil rights. They don't have jurisdiction over farming. So these regulations, I'm sorry, I said act, but it's Safe Food for Canadians regulations under the Health of Animals Act. But these regulations only apply to import and export, but that includes provincial import and export. Well, if you're a dairy supplier and you supply milk to the dairy board, some of it's going to be turned into cheese or something that's going to cross a provincial border. So this now applies to you. And they're taking complete control over local farming, and the provinces aren't standing up. We're going to be absolutely destroyed. But just back to the story about the health show, because I want people to understand how this is life and death and how compelling this is. So we had pre-taped interviews that we were broadcasting during the day. I mean, this went on for 3 weeks, but we held live events where we were broadcasting people, witnesses live. And in Grand Prairie, one of the witnesses was named Karen Peters. And you can watch her story. She shared how she had really debilitating rheumatoid arthritis. Like, she described it as having golf balls in her feet to walk on, and her hands are swollen twice the size, and she's in extreme discomfort. And her medical doctor explains to her that there's no cure for this. It's a terminal progressive illness. It's going to get worse and worse. She's going to end up in a wheelchair, and then she's going to die from this rheumatoid arthritis. But what we can do is we can try and slow the progression of the illness with chemical drugs. And he puts her on a couple of chemical drugs. Well, one of them is called methotrexate, which is a chemotherapy drug. So for a full year, weekly, she's being injected with this chemotherapy drug. And she explains it made her feel so sick that for 3 or 4 days a week, she actually wished she was dead. So after a full year of being injected with a chemotherapy drug, getting worse, wishing she was dead, a friend says, you got to go see a naturopathic doctor. This isn't working for you. But we're all brainwashed to think that these medical doctors, which really are witch doctors, that just came to me the other day, because pharmakeia, that's the root word for sorcery. So actually, even the Bible, sometimes when it says sorcery, it should say pharmakeia. And you know, our medical symbol of the 2 snakes on the pole, that's the symbol for the Greek god Hermes, who is known for 3 things: for sorcery, pharmakeia, for commerce, and for deception. And you know, so if they want to play with sorcery, which is what it is, and if they want to have as their symbol Hermes, the god of, you know, pharmakeia and commerce and deception, then I feel entitled to call them witch doctors. But anyway, she says, this Karen Peters, to her friend, like, no, because it's the medical doctors that have the training. Like, naturopathic doctors aren't trained, which the joke there is that naturopathic doctors are more trained. But in any event, she finds a naturopathic doctor who was also a medical doctor. So in her mind, there's credibility. And she goes to see this naturopath. Yeah. And the first thing she says to this naturopath is, I have an incurable illness. And the first thing he says to her is, there are no incurable illnesses. And then he cures her with natural remedies and nutrition.
Yeah.
She's not on any chemical drugs. She's not suffering from rheumatoid arthritis. She's not facing a wheelchair. She's not facing death. And this medical doctor said to her, not if, but he said, for 100%, if you had continued to take this methotrexate, it would give you cancer. I'm blown away from that. I'm shaken by this story. I didn't I interviewed her before the live event. I didn't know this was going to be the story. Well, this was in Grand Prairie. We're traveling across Canada from west to east. So, and it's Thanksgiving weekend now. So we actually have a couple of days in Edmonton. Well, I researched this because we live in Edmonton. So now I'm at home, and it's like, it's common for us to treat rheumatoid arthritis in Canada with chemotherapy drugs. It's like you're better off getting diagnosed with cancer because you're only going to be on chemotherapy for 3 to 6 months.
Well, that's it.
But rheumatoid arthritis, we're going to keep you on there until we kill you with cancer.
Forever.
Like, it was a permanent thing. Like this, you have to be on this forever.
So here's where this story gets worse. So first of all, I kind of like verify this isn't an outlier. This is common. Well, we march across Canada, picking up more petitions. October 23rd, we drop off the third largest paper petition in Canadian history, basically just calling for health freedom. And we're having an event on the Hill as we hand these off to an MP Blaine Calkins. Well, I share this story at this live event on Parliament Hill. I share Karen Peters' story. Well, we're now done and we're packing up, and this lady comes up to me named Nelda, and she's weeping. Like, she's just weeping. And it's like, what's going on? And she explains to me, she says, you just told my story. Rheumatoid arthritis, horrible suffering, basically a death sentence, put on chemical drugs, including methotrexate. But she said, I got the cancer and they took my breasts. And she's weeping. Wow. She's weeping. And so it led me, Bruce, to ask the question, and I'm angry now even just remembering it. Yeah. So how many Canadians are suffering with rheumatoid arthritis and are being tortured and killed with chemotherapy drugs? One is too much, but is it 10,000? Is it 50,000? Is it 100,000? Like, how many is it? Can you imagine having that? You're being told it's a terminal disease, and you're worse. You're going to die of cancer now because they're injecting you with chemotherapy drugs, but it's worse than a cancer diagnosis because it just goes on and on and on without end, and you have no hope.
That's it.
You have no hope.
Zero
hope. And there was condition after condition after condition at this health show. Fatal conditions where people had no hope under the medical system. And it's illegal for you to be told this stuff. The people that know are the medical practitioners and the companies that make the products, because that's why they're making them, and they get feedback galore. And if they share that information with you, Health Canada will take them out like whack-a-mole. So that's why we were
crucify them.
When we got home, we went for a walk just 3 weeks ago in our regular walking routine, and I ran into an old friend of mine, and she had just mentioned that she's seen a little bit of the work for the NHPPA online that Shawn's doing. And her sister has rheumatoid arthritis and is on that drug. Like, really? Like, it was just a random woman that we're talking with. And she's actually saying, and she just starts crying because she knows how much pain her sister is in. And what I don't understand is, like, with this censorship, what it means is that people don't know that there's other options. And I think, like, I'm a very good example of a person who was totally asleep and completely unaware. It's like what I've learned now about the ability to cure yourself through natural health products and through cleaner living. It's like a new food group that I didn't even know existed. Like, I didn't even know for over 50 years. And how many people are suffering, and that's. But
once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah, it's just like the COVID thing. It's like in fact, in many ways, it was I wasn't expecting it because I walked into the health show. I mean, Shawn's been doing this for, ever. Me, no. I wasn't expecting another truth bomb to go off in my head, but it sure did. It's there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm even angry over it,
Yeah. So from the beginning of the health show to the end, you got a fire hose of truth is essentially what happened.
And you watched it as well, and you're listening to these stories, and you're like, how is it possible? Like, it's really something. And the only way that you can find out is if you happen to be in the right place at the right time and overhear a conversation between two people. So, but
or you happen to catch some of the health shows. There were so many amazing stories, so many amazing people that shared their stories, and I'm trying to look through it now. I'm trying to pull it up so I can hopefully show our viewers a little bit. But it's like a snippet. You guys have this mountain of information, and you gathered so many great people in that short period. It probably doesn't do it justice, but you garnered so much information from that. It was amazing.
It's the best health show in the world. So, we used to have health shows across the world before COVID. Many of them stopped and never came back. The two biggest ones in Canada never came back. The Whole Life Expo, Global Health in Toronto, they didn't survive COVID, and a lot of them didn't. But at health shows, even good health shows, you didn't have ordinary Canadians sharing how they're only alive because of natural health products. You just had the experts, and many of them there because they were at the health show selling product, right? So, and I mean, but they were real experts, and it's super advice, but never before has a health show basically had ordinary people sharing their stories. Can I share another story just to point out?
Yeah, please.
How life and death this is, one of the speakers was Marion Laderoux. And what's fun about this story is at the time of the story, she's working for Health Canada in Ottawa. She's a PhD immunologist, and she's working for Health Canada on this big, very important area. And she has chronic fatigue syndrome. She can't sleep at night at all. She can nap a little bit during the day, but not much. But she can't sleep at night at all. And she is becoming depressed. She's catching everything. She explains that all she can, and at the time she's a younger lady, all she can do is work. And when I say all that she can do is work, she shares with us at one point she got fed up. I've got to go out. And so she decided, I'm going to go to a restaurant with a friend. Well, she takes the day off work so she can nap as much as she can. She goes out to the restaurant. Bruce, during the meal, she faints and face plants into her food.
Wow.
And that ended going out. And she explained, at the end of the workday, everyone at Health Canada, they jump in their cars and drive home. She can't. Remember, she face planted into her food. She passed out during a meal. She has to nap after the workday enough so that she feels it's safe to drive home, so she's not going to pass out in her car. So this is total disability. And she was very clear. I asked her, and she was very clear. If she didn't find a solution, she would have killed herself. She was getting to the, she wasn't willing to go on much longer because her life's hell. And the leading Canadian expert for chronic fatigue syndrome is a specialist in Ottawa that she consults with. And he says, there's nothing we can do with you. So the mainstream medical system for Marion Laderoux, a PhD immunologist working for Health Canada in Ottawa, it's a death sentence. It's a death sentence. Well, she finds St. John's wort within 24 hours. She's sleeping through the night. And 20 years later, she hasn't looked back. So,
wow.
How many people have
I remember that story, by the way. Yeah, I remember that story. It was really touching. How many people have killed themselves? Sorry,
And you might
should
want to talk
continue.
about me.
Well, I mean, the final solution is made, right?
But so this is the segue. I mean, this is really what we're talking about is and I think, Shawn, you had a different phrase for it. It's not Health Canada, it's Harm Canada or something like that. I can't remember.
Or Death Canada. I mean, I in my opinion, and it was the health show that helped me get there.
Oh yeah, I remember when you first said it.
Like I got involved in this 32 years ago because in a court case, I came to understand that Health Canada, like people are only alive when they defy Health Canada and access or provide people with these natural remedies. And then I get involved.
And it was Strauss, wasn't it, that you were working with?
Strauss, and then I get involved in the True Hope case. And I mean, the court concluded, as anyone watching would, that Health Canada killed people in restricting access to a vitamin and mineral supplement. Like this is life and it's so life and death. It's crazy. And I knew that, but this health show, it took it so much deeper for me. It made it so clear. I mean, we had people talking about how toxic the food supply is. So like many of our, health practitioners are of the opinion that one of our leading causes of chronic illness is all the toxins in our food. And, it's funny, so Teresa and I, we went to the Silks and then we went to, the Shawn Newman event in Calgary. And so for 2 or 3 days?
3 days, yeah.
We're eating garbage food that normal people eat. And both of us were sick at the end of it.
I was surprised.
I'm actually fasting just to get it out of my system. I
was surprised at
just to get it out. Yeah.
Feel how horrible.
Yeah. So our food is filled with toxins, and then our food, and this might shock some of your viewers, Bruce, and they might go, "This guy's full of crap. I'm not listening to him anymore." But I'm going to say it anyway. The human body needs certain nutrients to be healthy. There, I've said it. Okay, I'm having fun with that. But we actually even have a list of vital nutrients. One of our speakers was Udo Erasmus, which is just a fantastic person. And he's an expert on vital nutrients. And he explained during the health show, if you're missing even one of them, you die. That's why we call them essential nutrients. No joke, you're missing even one of them, you die. But you're going to get sick first. And there's other nutrients that aren't essential, but you can't be healthy without them. We used to get them in our food, but we can't anymore. The U.S. Department of Agriculture surveys the North American food supply. I mean, they're focused on the U.S. food supply, but it's the same as the Canadian food supply. And they've been doing this since about 1900. So every 4 or 5 years they publish. And in 1949, I think it was, they sounded the alarm and they said, you can no longer be healthy eating our food, because they had documented how the nutrient level has just been dropping and dropping and dropping. And they actually listed, okay, if you're missing this nutrient and this nutrient, here's the chronic illness you get. And if you're missing this and this isn't a secret. If you don't get what you need to be healthy, newsflash, you're not healthy. And that means you're chronically sick. And depending on what you're missing, we can predict what chronic illness or illnesses you're going to have. Well, who manages our food supply? It's Health Canada. They're the one approving all these toxins. And they're the ones approving the pesticides or other branches of the Ministry of Health. But it's primarily Health Canada. So here we're getting poisoned by our food, and we're not getting what we need from our food. And many health practitioners think that the two leading causes of chronic illness is toxic overload and malnutrition. So those two and a combination of those two. And the medical doctors are not trained to identify toxic overload. We had speaker after speaker who had toxic overload, and the medical system didn't help them. And then they had to find help in the natural health community, including actor Nick Mancuso.
Oh, yeah. His story was good.
Right? So, and we had speaker after speaker who were suffering from malnutrition, and the doctors aren't trained to identify it. I mean, what's her name? And you keep saying I need to look up her name. Because now I'm just referring to her as no, she wasn't in Grand Prairie. She was one of the recorded speakers. A young mom who was diagnosed with restless leg syndrome. That's what her doctor diagnosed it as. And she described, she'd go to bed and it was like electrical shocks into her legs, and then her legs are twitching. Well, she can't stay in bed. So she's up all night walking. She's got 2 young kids. She actually becomes so fatigued because she can't sleep at night. She's up walking all night, that she had lost the ability to care for her kids. That's pretty serious.
Wow.
When a young mom loses the ability to care for her children and her husband has to step in, and her medical doctor says, we actually don't have a specific treatment for restless leg, so let me put you on a Parkinson's drug. Can I say that again? Let me put you on a Parkinson's drug. Well, she looks at the side effects and it's like, don't you want to shoot me? Like, isn't that going to be more humane?
Mm-hmm.
And then a friend says, well, go see a naturopathic doctor. And the naturopathic doctor says, well, yeah, you need magnesium. And within 24 hours, she's cured, right? Because she had a magnesium deficiency.
Wow.
And this was one of the earlier people I taped on the show. So I'm asking naturopaths and traditional Chinese practitioners, nutritionists, as I'm interviewing them. And it's kind of like, are you stupid? Like, why are you even asking the question? If you have a muscle twitch, you cannot go to a health food store without them giving you magnesium. It's possible it's something else, but you're going to get magnesium first, because 99.9% of the time that solves it. And the health food store will know what type of magnesium to give you. And whether you need something else. It's kind of like if you're thirsty and dehydrated, drink water. It's like, why are we even talking about it? It's impossible. You can't go to a health food store with trained staff in Canada. Like, maybe you can go to a big grocery store, one or whatever, without the trained staff. But you can't go to a small locally owned health food store because they all have trained staff. So you can't go to one of those and not be given magnesium. It's impossible.
And that's the censor. That's what they want to censor.
Yeah. And why don't the doctors know this?
That's what they want to censor.
You're right.
And why?
Let's move into the next subject that we were going to talk about, and that's MAID, because I think it, when I said Death Canada, or you said Unhealthy Canada, or whatever you called it, Death Canada. That's right. I mean, this is what they would like us to do. This is what they're offering people, that because there are no options when you talk about chemicals or surgery with restless leg syndrome, right? Or the other lady that had I can't remember what it was.
Rheumatoid arthritis.
Rheumatoid arthritis. There was no. Yeah, there's no relief. There's no healing from it. So you may as well just MAID yourself. I mean, that's what it's all coming down to. It seems
it's so evil.
Teresa, did you do any research on MAID? Yeah.
Well, we had when we were with the National Citizens Inquiry, we had Angelina Ireland testify, and we had another expert testify as well on MAID, and it was horrific. And just even the method of how even the process of how you're murdered. Explain that.
Do you want to share that?
Well, it's like I thought, if I would have given it any thought, which I probably wouldn't have, right? Because part of the goal is just to keep us so busy doing whatever that we don't actually pay attention to what's actually happening.
We're busy surviving, having to pay the bills, right?
Exactly. Like, how can you possibly investigate this? But I remember when my father was ill in the hospital, they said, well, let's give him Demerol. So they wanted to, this was before the surgence of MAID, they wanted to give him Demerol. Well, that would have just knocked him right out unconscious, and then they would have taken him out that way. But with MAID, it's a 2-injection process. The first one is a paralytic drug. So it paralyzes you.
Yep.
So you're no longer there, at least for the people that are standing around your bedside wishing you well.
Yeah.
And then the second injection is what ends up drowning you from the inside. And what's not
your lungs fill up with fluid.
And what's not known is the
right.
What does the first drug?
You can still feel it, but you're
turn
paralyzed.
your brain off.
Yes. So the question is are you unconscious while you can't move? You're paralyzed and you're drowning. You're slowly drowning. This is a slow process.
Yeah.
So what no one can tell me is, are you aware? Are you conscious while you're paralyzed and drowning? See, because like Teresa, I just assumed we would do it in a humane way. Like she mentions Demerol as
right.
what was offered, like in hospices before MAID, they would give you a morphine overdose. And
right.
and we know that's not,
have a heart
we know
attack,
it's painless. Like basically you just
Yeah.
slow down and your respiration stops. You're not in pain in any way. So I just assumed when MAID came out that we were giving morphine overdoses. Cheap, it works, and it's as humane as possible. I was horrified.
Yeah.
Just wait a second. We paralyze you, but we don't know if your brain's still functioning. We don't know if you're still aware. And then we slowly drown you.
Yeah.
Actually, MAID deaths could be right out of a horror story.
I think they are.
There's
I don't know if you. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just I had heard, I haven't investigated it yet, of a few funeral homes in British Columbia that are now offering as part of their package service that you can go into a nice room with your loved ones and have the MAID application, and then you're not then obliged to
off
be
you right there in the funeral home.
Yeah, I'm
no transportation costs from the morgue.
Yeah, discount on Wednesdays. 10% off Wednesdays. It's wackadoodle. It's evil. It's evil. It's evil.
And what's interesting is so here we are on the natural health product front, and there's life-saving natural health product after life-saving natural health product, but they can't get approved for those conditions. So Health Canada will destroy anyone who shares the truth. They will destroy companies for trying to save your life because they say it's unapproved. But again, they structure the regulations so you can't get approved if you don't have a patent. So here you are, the medical systems failed you. They agree the medical systems failed you, and you can be killed with MAID, but you can't, as a Canadian, try a natural health product that isn't approved for your condition. Am I missing something, Bruce?
No. They want to be in control of it, though, right? They want to. You can't kill yourself, but the government is more than happy to do it for you.
When MAID first came out, a friend of mine said, it has to do with taking care of the lack of funding for health care and for pensions. And I remember telling my friend, no, that's not true. It's not. There's got to be a different reason than that. It can't just be about money. I don't know. But it's not right. But more and more people are waking up about it, and we have to not be afraid to share and talk about these things. We can't be afraid to share. Talk to any senior citizen that I know, I'm having the conversation about, do you know what this actually means?
I know, and I don't know the stat off the top of my head, but what I understand was it was in the number of trillions that it's supposed to save the Canadian government or the taxpayer, I guess, is if we can off a certain amount of people, then we can save taxpayer dollars. It's ludicrous and it's evil and it's just sickening.
Yeah, I have a real problem with that. Have they legislated the people with mental illness that they can access it now? Have they done that? That I have real troubles with. I mean, there's mental illness that runs in my family, and I can't imagine, my sibling who has suffered for his whole life, but he has good days and bad days, but for the most part, he has really good days, and it's his life, and that he would just be offered this if he happened to walk in on an off day.
We used to do everything we could to protect people that were in mental health crisis. So, you've got that teenage girl, her boyfriend just broke up with her. She has no frontal lobe, and she's all in a panic, and so we're going to allow her to choose to kill herself.
Yeah.
To me, it's not just about money.
No.
A lot more than that. All right. I apologize, but we're kind of at the end of our time. But I want to bring up back to your website so that we can show people. Obviously, we want people to get involved, right? So that's where we need to go. Is that right?
Yes.
Where we go, or is it just straight down from here? Yeah, it's right here.
Just go straight to the main page, and then if you scroll down, then there's those two, the blue and the green.
Yeah, so we have 2 active campaigns.
Right. So right here. You can see that now?
We have 2 active campaigns. So the Charter of Health Freedom, and I invite everyone to read it. It's basically a law that gives us the health rights that the courts say that we have, but it compels the federal government to comply with them, so you don't have to argue in court that you have them and spend $10,000 on a lawyer to convince the judge that you actually have a right that the court will eventually say you have anyway. And it moves the regulation of natural health products away from Health Canada and creates a separate category. So it would solve our problems. Well, we tabled the third largest, MP Blaine Culkins tabled the third largest paper petition in Canadian history 2 weeks ago, calling for this to become law. Now, because the petition is the third largest in Canadian history, the government's obligated to respond. And so this campaign is basically targeting the Prime Minister, the Health Minister, and only Liberal MPs, because they're the government, to basically adopt the charter and respond favorably. And it's very easy. There's an e-letter. We make everything super easy. And I really, if your entire audience could subscribe to our newsletter, we only send 1 newsletter out a week, unless we've got something like the health show going, then we might send 2. So we're not going to overflow you,
right? But
that's where we let you know about campaigns that we're running. And we're the only ones out there asking people to interact with the government, to put pressure on the government on these health issues. So, please get involved. We don't overload you, but we sure equip you to take action. And you're responsible for taking action right now.
Yeah.
Because you know what? You know that the world's falling apart. You know that things are off the rails. We're just talking about one little aspect. But you are here for this time to take action and be involved and stop this. And we're one way that you can participate. And why don't you tell people to tell people?
Yeah, I just, if I can just say one more thing.
So do you want to put Teresa on the screen? Because this is what she has to say was given to her.
Yeah, hang on 1 second.
Yeah, it was, so I was woken. So when I agreed to help Shawn with the NHPPA and the Health Charter Tour, I was pretty tired from our volunteer work with the National Citizens Inquiry. And I was always troubled when people would come up to us while we were volunteering with the NCI, and they would come and say, well, what difference did it make? They're still doing it, right? What difference did it make?
Yep.
And I mean, I know in my heart, I know what impact we had. I saw it firsthand, but it was a fair question, right? So when yes. I agreed to help Shawn with the Health Charter Tour and with the NHPPA, I was struggling with how do we overcome that? What good does it do? And how do you break out of the echo chamber, right? Because We can talk for another 5 years on the next greatest topic, but what good will it do if we can't educate the person who's quasi asleep across the street, who's going to take the next greatest thing, right? That will hurt them. What good will it do?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I was really tossing and turning about that. So one night in the middle of the night, I got woken up with clear direction from the guy upstairs. And he said, Teresa, just stop. He said, stop fussing and stop trying to just control it, just me to the one person. He said, it's very simple. All you have to do is you just have to tell people to tell people. So when you share information, you have to tell that person, instruct that person to tell someone else, and then instruct that person to tell someone else. It's exponential math. If we just did that 3 times down, we would have 35% of the population fully awake and engaged and doing something. And I can tell you now, I know this for certainty. People are waking up. They're like here. They just don't quite know how to get there. So they're hungry for this information. Right. So if you don't want to speak with the people or share with whatever content you want with your regular circle that may have rejected you for the past 5-6 years, just put them on the side and pray for someone else to intercede on your behalf, and go speak to the person at the checkout at the grocery store. And if you don't know what to share, just take a few moments in your thoughts and prayers and ask, what should I share? What information? Because they're coming at us with 1,000 cuts. And they're coming at us really hard. And they're not going to stop because they know we're close. They know we're close.
Yeah.
We're at that breaking point right now. And the instruction that I was given was to tell people to tell people. And the other instruction that I was given
to that.
Go
ahead.
And the other instruction for anyone that's listening right now, I am just the asleep person that woke up 5 years ago. That's all I am. But I was told specifically to let you know that you're now put on notice. You can no longer stay in your safe space, in your safe circle. Share your information, take the sheets of paper, read them, think about them, digest them, crumple them up, and put them in the recycle bin. Those days are done. We're done with that. We have to tell people, and don't stop. Don't get distracted with the over here. Pray for discernment, and you'll be given it.
Very good. I like that. Okay, I'm going to end off by reminding you guys and our viewers that you did make a difference, and you do make a difference. The NCI is the reason for Unscrew the News. I watched it. I cried in my garage watching it the very first day, and I went, holy smokes, I have got to do more. And so I started Unscrew the News because of that. Because of you guys.
That's so cool.
Because what you did there.
Oh, that's so cool. So there's other
we're
people
coming
that are
off.
watching.
Here we are, full circle.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Yeah, here we are, full circle.
You're gonna make me cry.
It's fantastic. God bless you guys. Thank you so much.
God bless you, Bruce.
I appreciate you. Holy smokes. I'm just going to say goodbye to the audience. If you don't mind sticking around for 30 seconds after, I'd love to catch up with you.
Sure.
Just the three of us, if that's okay. But guys, if you're here, if you're still watching, this was amazing. You have to share it out to your friends and your family. Make sure to get more eyeballs on this information. Shawn and Teresa shared some fantastic information, some really, really heartfelt information. And you guys, we probably have to have you back, because I wanted to talk about tracing cattle and milk and maybe farmers. We need to get more into that. So we need to have you back again soon. But again, if you're still watching this, make sure to share this out. I appreciate you all being here tonight and watching Unscrew the News. Thank you so much. As I always say, let's stay sane together. Keep your head on a swivel. And this is Bruce, and I'm out of here. Thank you so much for watching Unscrew the News. I appreciate your participation in freedom in Canada. Share this information and help others to wake up. God bless.